Good morning, everybody. My name is Ryan Mulligan from the Mulligan Realty Group here in London, Ontario, with Remax Center City. This is another update of our Monday market update, but we're doing it on Tuesday for a very specific reason. As you all know, in Canada last night we had our federal election, and we woke up to a new prime minister. He was already in before, but regardless, voted in Mark Carney and the Liberals. Hey, whether you like that or not, that's the democracy we live in. And hopefully, the Liberals will do something with their fourth mandate. So let's see what happens. We all have to stay optimistic and positive about this, and move forward. So hopefully that is all good. So we kind of wanted to see what the federal election was going to do last night. I don't know how this is going to affect our spring market and moving into our summer market. Um, that'll be interesting. It's tough to say right now, but I think with the consumer confidence, with the election over, obviously the trade war slash tariff war with the U.S. is still going on, and the uncertainty of that is still to be determined and figured out, and how that's going to affect our market. But the end of the day, the election cycle is over. We can move on from that. Interest rates are still at an affordable and historically average, or even on the cheaper side of what they have been historically. We got pretty lucky with interest rates over the pandemic market being, fixed rates being under 2%, and even, downwards to 1.5%. Realistically, we'll never see that. So if we're getting rates in the high threes to mid fours, um, historically, that's not a bad rate. Now, what you have to take into account there is obviously prices are much, much higher than what they've obviously ever been, other than that peak in early 2022. So affordability is still the issue here. People can't afford to buy a home. They can't afford to save for a down payment because rents are high. Even though rents have adjusted a bit, especially in the bigger cities like Toronto, it's still super high. So, you talk to anybody that lives in the cities renting, I don't know how they're going to ever get ahead and buy a home. So hopefully Canada makes a turnaround here and does a big initiative for new homes and our real estate market. So that's that. I won't get into it politically. We'll leave it at that. Our numbers. So last week, and I think, yeah, so last week, our MLS system was being adjusted a little bit on the back end. So I don't know if our numbers were a little bit off last week. I'm just going to go under the assumption that it was, because new listings seemed lower than what they should have been. So I'm actually going to compare this week to 2 weeks ago. So new listings in the past 7 days was 152, compared to 2 weeks ago was 169. And that was pretty consistent over the few weeks before that too. So pretty on par. Conditional sales, we were at 71, and firm sold, we're at 95, compared to 87 the week before. So firm sales pretty on par. And then price decreases was at 53, down from 69 a couple weeks ago. So, some sellers are still adjusting their price. Some people still have to come to a realization that we're not in the, 2021, 2022 pricing where their neighbor sold for drastically higher. We are still down over 20% in most parts of London and southwestern Ontario from the peak of the market. So prices adjusted pretty drastically. So, when people go to sell, they have to adjust to today's market. And there's a lot on the market where, if we're not already in a buyer's market, we're definitely leaning to that, and feels like a buyer's market in some areas of London. You get kind of price points of, the 650, even 700,000 and under. They seem to be moving pretty well. Anything over that depends on neighborhood and style of home, and how it looks and so on. So we seem to be seeing more homes selling. We actually saw a few multiple offers over the last few weeks, but in good price points. So your average sale price of London, call it just around 640,000 and below. We're seeing some multiple offers. So the buyer demand is there for an affordable product. So the upper end homes just need to be priced accordingly to the market. Otherwise, they're going to sit for weeks and months. So that's the market we're in. So it's interesting times. We will update it again next week on Monday for our Monday market update and see where the numbers are at again after post-election, and just the next 6 days of our elected prime minister now dealing with the U.S. and the tariff war and the trade war. So we'll see how that all goes out. And I wish you guys all the best. Have a great week. Enjoy the nice weather. We're supposed to get some rain and some high winds today in London, Ontario. So I hope everybody stays safe, and have a great week, guys. Take care. Again, my name is Ryan Mulligan from the Mulligan Realty Group, and this has been another episode of our Monday Market Update.